What's good, everybody? It's Tuesday night. It is Flyers Talk A to D. Slow it down a little bit more for you guys tonight because I'm gonna keep you on your toes. This is what I like to do. Lots to talk about tonight. We're talking Flyers, Red Wings. We're gonna do a little live reaction for the third period. We're also gonna do a little bit of post game as well. Discuss that game, as well as discussing what is going on with the Flyers goaltending. It continues to be a carousel. Guys are rotated in, rotated out. What should the Flyers do? What do you think the Flyers should do? And we're going to discuss that and so much more. So hit that like, hit that subscribe, Facebook, X, hit that retweet, hit that share. Let's go. Let's get everybody in the chat. Jump in. Let's hear what you got to say. It's time to go talk some puck.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a brand new edition of Flyers Talk A2D right here on A2DRadio.com. I am Matt Sinsudi along with the Dark Wing, Brian Daly.
Rocking the new threads tonight.
Nice.
Very
Nice. And the Broken One, Rob Povia.
Glad to be part of a full house tonight.
Been a while.
Absolutely. And Mr. Blue Shirt, Mr. Broadway, Mr. Switzerland, Big Bad Brad Ryer. All right. And today we are brought to you by, as always, Specialized Physical Therapy. If you have any aches and pains that are causing you just no end of frustration, go hit up the doc, Dr. Paul Vidal at SpecializedPhysicalTherapy.com. You can then make an appointment on there, then head on over to Burlington or Cherry Hill, New Jersey. He's got great staff in both locations. Take care of you in just a few sessions and you'll feel as good as new. So hit up the doc. You got those aches and pains. And the question for today on the poll is the Flyers will completely overhaul the goalie position at the trade deadline. Agree or disagree? Obviously, there have been rumors that, of course, are going to get churned out time and time again, especially during this time of the year as we're getting ever so closer to the All-Star break, which will be occupied by the Four Nations Cup or the Four Nations Face-Off. And after that, of course, then the rumor mill will ramp up even more so because the trade deadline will be shortly after. So with that knowledge in hand, gentlemen, do you see the Flyers making any type of offers, any type of, I guess, feelers possibly out there to see what might be available on the market? Or do they just stay pat with what they have? Do they rock with Urson, rock with Fedotov, rock with Askarov, and just let the young players develop and let's see what Urson can do if he can continue to play at a strong, high level? Or do they make something change? Do they make a big change here? What do you guys feel?
Did you say Askarov?
Oh, oops.
I'm like, wait, did he say that? When did this happen? Wow, Flyers in really good shape.
My bad. Sorry, the Sharks have Oscar. My bad, guys.
Listen, Matt, it's all good.
Cross fandom going on over here.
Yeah, seriously.
Listen, if either one of them has them, I'll be more than happy to see it. But anyway, go ahead.
I'm going to agree. I think we're going to see an overhaul. It's just because it's just some of the rumors I'm hearing. Players that have been linked to the Flyers. I think this is something that's going to happen. I think the reason why they're continuing to rotate the three goalie system is to try and add some value at the trade deadline to be able to make something happen. I don't necessarily think it's something the Flyers should be doing. I think they should absolutely be letting Urson develop or one of the other two Russians or both Russians. It doesn't matter to me. two of these three need to be consistently playing, but I do think they are working on trade value for some of these guys. So that way, the minute Tristan Jarry hit waivers, a lot of people are saying, oh, Flyers need to claim him. Flyers need to claim him. John Gibson being linked to the Flyers. These are two guys that are considered very strong starting goaltenders for their organizations. I know Jarry's having a little bit of an off year, but is there something that's going to actually happen at the trade deadline? I honestly don't know. Do I think it's going to happen? Yeah, honestly, I'm getting to the point where I'm thinking they're going to make a splash move because of how well they're playing in front of him right now, and the fact that they are playing very good hockey right now. And if they find themselves just shy of a playoff spot come the trade deadline, it wouldn't shock me at all to see either Urson, Kolosov, or Fedotov, or two of those three trade at the deadline to bring in a guy like a John Gibson or maybe a Tristan Jarry to make a final playoff push to see if they can get this team over the hump and back into the playoffs a little bit sooner than expected.
Right, absolutely. I mean, obviously, we know that the goaltending position has always been a question mark when it comes to the team, and obviously, circumstances beyond the Flyers' control have led to controversy and have led to them having to make those adjustments as far back as last year. And yes, it is still currently 1-1 with about 9 minutes left in the third period. So it is understandable that people would think, okay, are the Flyers going to make a move? Robbie, how do you feel about it, brother?
I'm on the other side of the fence. I absolutely disagree to this poll. What use is it to bring in Tristan Jarry, who's turned into a walking turnstile in net? I mean, we were targeting him in DFS all season long, right? And I mean, okay, he's got more experience than the young goaltenders here, but these guys fit this rebuild. And yes, there is a logjam. And while I still see the Flyers attempting to move Harrison ahead of the trade deadline, if they move any of the goaltenders, I don't see an overall coming. Since just look at some of these numbers. Since the Christmas break, Harrison is 6-1-0 with a .930 save percentage and a .166 goals against average, while Ivan Fedotov, who Torrell confirmed was the number 2 this week, despite not winning any of his 3 starts, he looks a hell of a lot better than he did in October, stopping 62 to 70 shots in his last 3 games. It's, the one thing you're right, Brian, that I'll agree with is they're playing a lot better in front of the goaltenders, and that has a lot to do with it defensively. We saw that against the Devils, limiting a hot Devils team to 13 total shots, coupled with the Flyers' 33 block shots. So they're playing the torch system strong. They're playing a lot better defensively in front of the goaltenders, so it's no surprise.
Sorry, Rob.
As Harrison is proving my point right now, right? They've been strong in that. I don't see a need to disrupt what's going on between the net and Philadelphia. Like I said, I'll share this tweet. In a little bit, but in regards to Kolosov, the team doesn't exactly know what they're going to do with him right now. So while I do feel a move is necessary, I don't see an overall overhaul being necessary for this team.
I think
Brad,
I'm on my own tonight. I think I might like this.
Brad, how do you feel, brother? How are you in this whole,
You know what? I think Urson's been playing pretty well. And to trade him right now, you might be trading a guy who could end up developing into a number 1 goalie. He's really been playing pretty darn well. And who are you going to get right now on the market that's better than him? Don't give me Jarry. Jarry has been an open window this year. He's been absolutely awful. Pittsburgh put him on waivers because they're hoping / praying somebody would take that contract. And as far as Gibson goes, I mean, Gibson is good, but he's not enough of an upgrade. I don't think he tips the scale enough to make it worth it for the Flyers to go get a goal. If you're saying they could get Pecorine or somebody like that, okay. you know, or UC, whatever the hell his name, Soros, the guy on
We got
NASCAR. Okay,
we got
so-
a lot of confusion on the goaltending position between me saying Oskarov was on the Flyers
Yeah, I
and
know.
now
Rene,
Rene
I
who's
meant-
been retired.
yeah,
like-
right. No, oops. In any event, if you're going to get him, if you're going to get Soros, okay, you know, then that tips the scale. Okay, right now, I think that at this point, the Flyers haven't shown you that they're really going to go crazy and mess around with the rebuild right now. The summer is another story. Okay, they're going to have money, they're going to have draft choices. I think then you might see some moves. But as far as making moves to try to win something right now, they're not ready to win a Stanley Cup. And if the goal is to win the Stanley Cup, okay, I mean, if you want to make the playoffs and lose in the first round, okay, you know, I get it. You haven't seen a playoff game in a while, and you know, you like to see some of the younger guys get some experience. Okay, but if the goal is to win the cup, you know, I think they're going to be probably most likely, though, if they're going to get somebody, it's got to be for more than a year. No rentals.
No, and that's where a guy like Gibson or Jari would be a little bit more beneficial. Not saying that they have to go after those guys, but this is their perfect example because they have terms, so they still have a couple years. Jari's got, I think, 3 or 4 years left on his contract, and Gibson's got 3 on his. So there's some term there, so it does make it a little bit more valuable.
Gary has not really been. He's been injured a lot, and he just hasn't been very effective the last couple of years. I mean, if I had my choice, I'd take Gibson. I think Gibson's pretty good. I just don't think he's that much better. You know, he's that big of an upgrade over Harrison, if at all. Harrison's been playing pretty well. You know, I've seen some of his top games, and he's got a very high upside, in my opinion. You know, I mean, I kind of like the way he plays. Not a bad goaltender at all.
The nice side, though, is with bringing in a guy like these guys here with where their contracts are, it lines up perfectly so that depending on how long Zavragan and Bjarnason need, by the time their contracts are up, they're potentially ready to either take a backup role behind them, or they're ready, depending on how fast they come up, one of those guys could take the starting job from them when their contract's up. So there is a little bit of an upside there. And I mean, honestly, with 2 young goalies, with Zavragan and Bjarnason, those are 2 guys that I would like to have them mentor. But those are the only 2 examples that I know of off the top of my head that have been linked to the Flyers. But again, not necessarily something that the Flyers have to do or should do, like I said. But for some reason, I just have a feeling in my gut, and I know I'm seeing everybody in the chat. I'm the only one who's agreeing to this poll so far, and I'm okay. I'm okay with it. Something in my gut tells me if they're close to a playoff spot, they're going to bring in a solid veteran goalie to be able to lead this team into the playoffs.
Pete, just to let you know, brother, it will be March 7th. That is the trade deadline for the NHL.
Right. And if the Flyers goaltender situation remained as it were back in October, which was dead last in the league, 880 save percentage, then I'd say, yeah, an overhaul is needed because you have no faith in what you got right now. But I just read off the numbers before for Arison and Fedotov, and I know Kolosov has regressed, and we knew that was going to happen. Young goaltender, right? I don't see why you'd want to overhaul it now when you're getting better play between the pipes and better play in front of the net, and that system's working. Torch comes out and absolutely just showers Fedotov with credit. How he stood by as a third stringer, skating up and down the boards. If you ever play the game of hockey, that's tough, where you're not even getting into practices, let alone games. Right? Stay mentally sharp and coming out and pitching 2 really good games against the Toronto Maple Leafs back to back. Right? And to stay, in shape, calm, cool, and collective in front of the net, which Torch values immensely. And so I think there is faith in who we got. There's prospectus in the future. So I feel no need to bring in a name now.
Well, before I dive into my answer to the poll, just wanted to give a shout out to Rodrigo Bowles, who is playing in his very first NHL game tonight. So congratulations to that young man. Hopefully he'll make make some more appearances in the orange and black. He has been playing pretty good tonight. So let's see here. So my feelings on this overhauling the goalie position. Here's the thing. Both arguments have merit. That's that's the funny thing about this. Where there's really not a wrong answer to this poll question. You could say agree, and I could agree with you. You could say disagree, and I could agree with that, to be honest with you. Because think about both sides of the argument. You disagree because you want to go with what you have and you're rebuilding. It's like that's a very normal reaction to it. And that's usually the way it goes. You stay the course and you keep with what you got. You don't try to shuffle it up too much. You don't try to mess up the development. And you don't try to block the pipeline, which is what the main thing we've always been preaching is don't block the pipeline. However, though, in this case, when you also tailor it off to say, well, if you bring in a veteran goalie, think about it this way. If you were to say get rid of Sam Ersson, you have two young goalies that you have sitting there. Both of them have had NHL experience. Both of them have proven that they can learn and grow because they've done that this year, and they've done it relatively well. Has it been perfect? No. But I think they've been thrown into the baptism of fire. I think they've responded solidly enough. So what you could then say is, and argue, have a veteran goalie that can help them grow and develop and teach them the tricks of the trade. If you have a veteran enough, if you have a goalie who's a veteran who's been in the playoffs, who has experience in these kind of performances and these kind of clutch situations this late in the year, it could be very beneficial to two young goaltenders. And if you can get them for a fairly decent price, that doesn't screw you up for future signings, you might have a win-win in that situation. Now, of course, that depends on what goalie you go get. You could go get a goalie that isn't in that position, doesn't really care for that. Or maybe you do find a veteran goaltender that's willing to teach and willing to grow and enhance young talent. So like I said, there's arguments for both sides of this.
I see that you gotta free up the logjam though, right? Because what do you do with Koloslov now? Do you send him down to the Phantoms? Do you risk him being, requesting being lent back to the KHL? Do you let him get let back to the KHL and say bon voyage? What are those scenarios? And I mean, we see, and I shared the tweet, Brian, from Charlie O'Connor. It does raise an interesting question.
Yeah, let me pull it up here. There you go. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing too, and the reason why I even brought this up is I think this is an interesting situation for the Flyers to be in, because when was the last time that, like, and I feel like we've been saying this the last couple of years with everything with Carter Hart, and then you bring in Sam Ersson, those two playing really well together, you get really excited behind that, then shit goes down with Hart, and here's what's interesting to me. One, I don't see a guy like Gibson coming over to Philly to go from one rebuilding team to another. I just don't see it happening because he wants an opportunity to go play for a playoff team. He wants a chance to win a cup. Don't blame him for that. So I can see him going to a number of other different places that could give him a chance to finally get back to the playoffs. My thing is right now there's an absolute logjam, and we've all used this term a few times already tonight. Have to be able to free up some of this space here to allow these guys to continue to grow, to continue to develop. And I think we've all had this when we had this conversation earlier in the year. We all had this conversation, and we all were essentially saying the same thing, that at some point you got to make a choice. Do we think at this point now, boys, that this is a choice? This is it moving forward? It's going to be Fedotov and Ersson? Or do we think that, we're going to continue to see this carousel going where Kolosov is going to be able to find a way back in here and there when one of these guys starts to struggle?
Right.
Hey guys, What would you think about possibly them reaching out to get Demko from the Canucks? I know he's only played 10 games. He hasn't been great, but that's a guy that's got a pretty high ceiling. And the Canucks might be having a fire sale if things don't change real soon. So you might want to look at him as a possible trade rumors. I mean, would he be enough of an upgrade to make a move? Just a thought, guys. I know he's been injured, and he's only played 10 games. I think he's 3-3 and 3-3 or 4-3-1 or something. So he's something like that.
Well, first, Eileen, Lindros has been doing a lot of charity work and a lot of signings and stuff like that. That's what he does nowadays. But besides that, John is saying, doesn't it matter what we have in the pipeline, when and who will be ready anytime soon? And then Benny's saying, I don't make a move now. There just is not a large enough sample size to make a decision on who should be here. So yeah, that's basically what the fam's saying. I did highlight a couple of comments here. John again saying they were talking during the broadcast about trading Risto. What are we going to get for him, since the Flyers are a team in need of defense?
Well, I think if you move Risto or one of the goaltenders, you're going to want to try to strengthen a weakness, which is up the middle in that center. God bless Rodrigo Bowles making his NHL debut tonight after a long career. He started back in, I think he was 16-year-old under six, in 2010-11. So it's been a long path, and he brings a big body, 6'4", 205 pounds. That's what you want to try to target, big-bodied centers, because that's going to help enhance the skill position players that we've been amassing.
Well, I hope everybody loves 3-on-3 overtime, because that's exactly what we are about to get.
Why do we have to get overtime? I mean,
it's a point.
Now both of you get a point.
That's all that matters. The Flyers are getting a point. The Flyers were buzzing in the second half of that third period too. Every time I turned my head, they were in the.
I'll tell you what. Zone. I don't know how much of the last minute of that third period, but the Wings were absolutely buzzing all over the net. Person just stood in his head. As I'm watching it, I'm saying to myself, "Why would you guys want to trade him? I wouldn't do that."
Yeah.
Anthony is saying
he may have stolen a point in that last minute. I'm telling you right now, those were some great saves.
Brad, he could very well be playing himself into the long-term future of this team, and maybe you demonstrated value with Koloslav and you move him for another piece. And that's what the intentions are.
Listen, it's not easy to get a franchise goaltender. You guys know that. That's one of the hardest positions to fill. And I don't know, they're going to show you some highlights now. Watch some of these saves and how close Detroit came. And Urson is right there. I mean, this is Robbie. He gets hit in the mask. I mean,
right.
That was a great save. That guy had a clean shot and a really good look. Urson's playing very good hockey right now. And when was the last time you could hold him responsible for a loss? Because I can't remember.
By the way, this is the most in the NHL for the year for overtime games. Flyers are on their 15th of the season.
Well, Brad, he's always 6-1 since the Christmas break, so there's only that one loss. And maybe you could look back to the first period against the Panthers, where he let up 2 goals real early, and that second one was soft as baby piss. But he buckled down in that game and kept the Flyers in it.
Yeah, the game.
They came back and won, exactly. So he is showing his weight in gold.
Robbie, there's not a goalie in the league that doesn't give up soft goals every once in a while. That's hockey.
So what's important is his lateral movement, especially tonight, has been pristine, the best I've seen since him coming back from injury. He's really recaptured his form.
Yeah, the Wings were really buzzing in that last minute of that third period, and he saved the point. So I mean, we'll see if they get the second point now.
Oh, come on, get that shit on your stick. What the fuck?
And this is a very, you could say what you want about this Red Wings team, this rebuilding Red Wings team, but they are skilled offensively. Their power play is second in the league. They're 8th in shots in the NHL. They put a lot of rubber on the net, more than Trojan.
Mm-hmm. No, for sure. Whoa, hey.
I was like the only one who got that right off the bat. That's hilarious.
No, I took a second.
Well done, Robbie. I will say,
Oh,
well
wow.
done
All
on
right.
that one.
I completely lost my train of thought.
Check out this save
Sorry.
Urson makes right now, because I'm a little bit ahead of your feed.
Oh,
Okay,
man, he
yeah.
just-
Right in the slot. I mean, that shot's in the slot.
To build
It's
off of
Right
what
down the middle.
Anthony is saying disagree. Danny B will not make any move of consequence this year. They need to get a center, but I have no faith that anything will be done this year. So those were the
Which is
two
fine.
starred comments.
which is fine. Like I think Ant brings up a great point. Like they're again, like this is the season you really shouldn't be looking to bring anybody in. It's going to be that season where you're still trying to get rid of as much cap as you possibly can. You're going to lose a ton of cap at the end of the year anyway. Try and get as much as you can for them, whether it be AHL players that potentially might have a shot, draft picks. I know not everybody's sick of draft picks. Just got to keep it moving. And to Robbie's point earlier, his lateral movement, his groin's looking like it's healthy. So that's a great thing to see. Because it was definitely something that was worrisome because they think that he might have re-aggravated it, which maybe clearly he didn't. But,
Meanwhile, I'm just watching this right now. Flyers have possession. Oh, man, good save made right there by a former Philadelphia Flyer and Alex Lyon.
It'd be a really weird time to disrupt what's going on, too, right now, boys. They're, 5-3-2 in their last 10? Points in 5 straight and 2 wins in a row coming into tonight's game. So it'd be an odd time to I mean, at least now, but I mean, to Pete's point, asking when the NHL trade deadline is, I mean, March is still a few clicks away.
Yeah, no, and I get it. Like I get everybody's mindset on why you're not going to see it. But I don't know. I just feel like you never know.
Well, that's true.
You absolutely never know.
Well, Maddie hit the nail on the head. You can make a logical, point for both.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Which makes it a great talking point.
This is a very good poll question because I could see it swinging both ways. This is going to be a close one.
It's not like this, and it's not like I get it. They're in the second year of a full rebuild. I get it. Like, but this team isn't as far off as people think they're. People think they're 2 or 3 years off. Okay, I'll give you 2. But I really don't think they're that far away from being a playoff team, especially with the way some of these teams are starting to fall. The Islanders, Senators just are in a stalemate. Red Wings are in a stalemate because they refuse to get a legit start.
The Senators are losing 5-0 tonight to the Rangers.
Wow, that's a rarity.
Starting to pick it back up.
5-0. Even Rempe got a goal tonight.
Jeez, that's impressive.
You know your goalie's having an off night if you're Rempe scoring.
Well, they already knocked the first goalie out, and then they brought this other guy in who played against the Devils the other night and looked great. But
that's like the equivalent of car bomb scoring on you. Who the hell wants to do that?
Yeah, well,
Listen, man, that playoff goal will still be forever immortalized in Philly history. Watching Brodeur give that one up. But anyway.
What's fortunate for me is I stacked Rangers and Predators tonight, and the Predators are trailing the Sharks surprisingly 5-3 right now. And if you're on the fantasy side of things, you love when your team's down. You know what I mean? That's when you're going to pile up the points, whether it's all about NHL, NFL, whatever. But yes, 2 barn burners in mysterious places.
So far we're down to the last minute of overtime.
Wasn't it 4-0 for San Jose after the first period?
Yeah, let me check.
I think so, but to be honest,
4-0 or 4-1. Maybe it was 4-1.
It's 4-1
4-1. Okay.
Yeah.
Come on, Ant. We're on a slow feed over here.
There you go.
And by the way, I'm not sure who's commenting for Old City.
2-on-1. There There it is. Jesus. They couldn't have made that any more painstaking than ever before. Like, literally, it took forever for that fucking puck to cross the line. It's like, can you just cross the line, goddammit? The Red Wings don't need the points. We do. Fuck the Red Wings. Who gives a
Right.
shit? They can just stay in fucking mid-card hell for the rest of their lives. They already have enough cups as it is.
Hey, and this is an important game. Only 2 points separate these two clubs. So
Right.
these are crucial points up for grabs.
Yeah, and
So,
Ottawa,
yes.
being that Ottawa is losing, okay, well, actually losing, it's 5-0. They're not coming back. Ottawa has the 8th and final playoff spot.
Listen, stranger things have happened, though.
So,
Am I reading this right? So, Old City saying if you don't think they're closer than 3 years away, you're delusional.
3 years.
Are we
to
on the
make
same
playoffs?
page, or are we on the same page, or do you think it's going to be 3 years? Just verifying, because if you
Literally.
just asking if you think that I'm being delusional. 'Cause if that's the case, I'll be delusional.
Oh
love
my
it.
God! Did you
Yeah,
guys see the
Are
replay?
we talking about making the playoffs
Oh.
or making or being Stanley Cup contenders?
Making the playoffs.
Did you guys see the
They'll make the
replay
playoffs next
of the
year.
goal? Cedar put it in his own goal.
I'm watching it right now. Yeah.
Yeah,
He
the puck
put
was
it in his
The
own
puck
goal.
was sitting on the puck was sitting on the goal line, and the Putz put it in his own net.
I mean, he got lucky. He got lucky. It didn't cross the red line fully, but yeah, it looks like I'm going to say Farabee got credit for that.
Well, when the puck is sitting there like that, more often than not, somebody's going to knock it in.
If it is, it's Farabee's second in the game,
Listen,
which is good to see. And I like how that line is gelling with Mitchkoff and Couturier, where you can manage Mitchkoff's minutes and put, keep Coots in a bottom six, more defensive.
No, actually, you know what?
standpoint.
The Flyers put the puck in the net.
No, they're giving it to Risto.
Oh yeah, I saw that one angle. It looked like Risto definitely got it.
Farabee gets an assist, though.
All right,
2
color me
point game.
delusional, I guess. That's how I'm going to take that.
I would disagree, and I'm a Ranger fan. Okay,
I mean,
think
think about
next
it.
year you make the playoffs. I think
This is supposed to be a rebuilding team, right? They've been competitive the last 2 years, fighting for a playoff spot. If you don't think they're a bubble team or a playoff contender playoff contender right now, delusion. Like I don't understand how you don't think this team could potentially make the playoffs with the roster that they have at the moment.
Hey, Brad, guess what? Guess who the Flyers play next?
Rangers.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
That's on Thursday.
That is on Thursday.
That's
And you
Thursday.
know what?
Igor right now has 2 consecutive. If the shutout continues, he'll have 2 consecutive shutouts at home. Just
Nice.
to let you know.
By the way,
Interesting.
while you're at home, hit that like, hit that subscribe, turn on those notifications. Don't miss anything A2D has to offer. Lots of things for you. We got Eagles, Phillies, Flyers, Sixers, something for you every night. So hit that like, sub, never miss anything that A2D has to offer for you guys.
Look at both sides of the puck real quick. I'll start defensively, right, where this team belongs in this league. Well, they've allowed more than 30 shots just once in their last 20 games, allowing the 4th fewest in the NHL this season, which is 26.
Why do you think that is? It's called their coach teaching them how to play defense.
Right. And
So
blocking
for all
shots.
you guys out there who dump on Tortorella, he's taught this team how to play defense. So that's how it starts when you want to become a championship team.
Right. It was fully on display against the New Jersey Devils, Brad. They did take like I said before, take a hot Devils team and limit them to 13 total shots on goal with 33 block shots. That's part of their league leading coming in tonight, 865. They are certainly
I watched that game.
Defense.
I watched that game.
I figured you'd appreciate that.
Quite disgusted at the fact that the Devils went and took a dump against them and then lost to the Senators.
Right.
It's almost like anything to screw the Rangers, even if they're screwing themselves.
And then tonight, I mean, again, under 30 shots, 28. Now that's 21 games.
Against a team that does get a lot of shots and can score a lot of goals.
Right. Second in the NHL in shots.
Yeah,
I think no, 8th in the league in shots, 2nd on the power play. The Devils are. I mean, the Detroit Red Wings are.
This is a
So
team
I
that-
believe they're 2-1 against them now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Win the season series
That's good
tonight,
because you know what?
2-1.
If you know that's one of the that could be a tiebreaker situation at some point.
Right.
You
It's
never
big.
know. You want to win as many series as you can.
Right.
Which
Overall,
makes,
too,
which
the
makes
Red
the
Wings
Ranger
have only
Flyer game a huge game.
twice in Philly in their past 21 trips.
Yeah, that was one thing I noted in the show description for YouTube was these teams have won every game on home ice. So, it's a testament to what Rob just said. Just Detroit, just for some reason, can't play in Philly. But when you can take advantage of, that's one thing I feel like the Flyers had an issue with earlier in the year, even though it wasn't as bad as some people said. They did have some trouble finding ways to win on home ice. They're finding ways now.
Right.
And
They're
They're playing better
everything.
5-on-5
They're playing a lot better at home
Mhm.
now.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I will say I'll address this. I'm sorry I didn't address it 2 seconds ago. Priz did freak out when I was bitching about the Red Wings there, and then he had to say, "Have you lost your mind? What if Don hears that? You're going to scare him away forever." No, I'm not. You kidding? If anyone has a chance of scaring him away, it's this guy right over here. I'm surprised he hasn't gone running to the hills because of him, to be honest with you.
Me. They're referring to me. I scare everybody away.
Well, it's because you flap your duck wings at everybody and they panic and start running away. That's what it is.
Those wings have a very large wingspan.
They do. They do. It's very intimidating. It's kind of like Batman almost, just coming out of the shadows. That's why we call him the Darkwing. What?
Don't tell them my secret.
Well, you're not Batman. What are you worried about? I didn't give no secrets away.
Oh, good. I didn't tell you my secret then. Okay.
Meanwhile,
Oh, it's somebody else. Sorry. My bad.
Oh my god.
Holy
Anyway.
Why do you guys put up with me?
I don't know, but Priz says you send unsolicited feet pics. That's real creepy.
That is not true. I never did that one time. Well, maybe not one time, but no times after that.
Well, hold on. In his case, it'd be unsolicited flipper pics. But anyway, so
just because I have web feet doesn't mean they're flippers. Knock it off.
Why? Is it true that your favorite football player was Flipper Anderson?
No.
Sorry. Yeah, that was bad. Oh well.
That's not true at all.
That's not true at all.
Somebody lied to you. I don't know who it was.
I mean, I think his favorite game of chance is flipping a coin. So,
Fuck. Okay. All right. Keep the puns coming. Let's go.
Favorite comedian, Flip Wilson.
But Malmos makes a good point in the chat on YouTube there, Maddie. Flyers next 5 are against the Rangers, Islanders, and Devils. A lot of Metro Division going down right now. But, I mean, you could argue that the Flyers are playing their best hockey all year right now, and that the lines are finally solidifying together. That I told you that, last week we talked ad nauseum about Cates, Forrester, and Brink, who had another good game tonight, right? And, Farabee coming up big on the score sheet, a goal and assist tonight, where that there's been some congruency on that line. But let's not ignore the Tippett Frost connecting line. They've scored 8 goals while only allowing just 1 to opposing teams in their time together, purely 5-on-5, which is roughly about 84 minutes, according to my man Jorge Pucks from Fantasy Guru. I mean, that's what this team was really making a lot of mistakes on earlier in the year, was 5-on-5. Well, that play has done a complete 180. So, if you can, continue to build on the special teams and get stronger there on both the power play and the penalty kill and remain strong 5-on-5, this team will be in the discussion in an 8-team race for that second wild card, it seems like.
I'm going to say this right now.
The Bruins are now in the fight too. So it's the 7 and 8.
Can they just fucking go away? For fuck's sake, I'm so sick and tired of the fucking Bruins.
Go
the fuck away.
Bruins, the new cockroaches.
Listen,
they
They've sucked enough to get into the same predicament as everybody else now.
Apparently.
So now
Do we-
it's really there's two spots that you. And Tampa Bay isn't exactly very far ahead of any of these teams either.
Yeah. So I mean, honestly, like to kind of build off of what Pove was saying, this team really turned a corner in that Anaheim game. You know, we saw that complete 60-minute effort. We saw the way that they absolutely played together, rallied behind each other, and that was the most dominant, easily best 60-minute effort they put forth all year. This team has just been different since that game. And they are definitely playing for each other now. I mean, Cates is, even when he's not on the score sheet, he's out there and he's noticeable. So you're getting really good depth play from guys like him. That line has just been outstanding. Farabee, since getting sat for his 3-game break, has been outstanding too. He's putting himself in good scoring positions. He's skating faster. He's working harder. And then again, you're getting solid defensive play in front of the goaltenders and allowing the goaltenders to do their job. They got some pretty lucky bounces tonight, but for the most part, Ersson and Fedotov have been absolutely outstanding since this game and since the Anaheim game. This entire team has been at that point. Like, there's a lot to be excited about with this team, and that's why I don't think this team is going to be taking another 3 years to find themselves back in the playoffs. Although a lot's going to change next year.
I say next year they're in the playoffs.
I'm gonna say this right now. With this team, with how much they fight and how much drive they have, if they get into the playoffs, I'll be completely honest with you. The way that this team has been taking these lessons in stride and learning from them, even if they get their asses handed to them in the first round, say they go in and they get swept or they lose in 5. This is the kind of team that, yeah, they may have lost today, but you know what? They're going to take that. They're going to use it. They're going to mold it into something. They're going to take all that energy that they had from this experience and they're going to put it into next year. And they're going to say, okay, we tasted the playoffs and now we want it more. We want more of it. That's the kind of team we've got. That's the kind of team we're developing. And you know what? I'm here for it. At the end of the day, this is a team that has so much potential at the end of the day. Is it a perfect team? No, there's still a lot of work in progress. I mean, we've talked about the center position ad nauseum for a reason. But the point is that this team can take things like a playoff first round out and do amazing things with it. Think about it. They almost made it to the playoffs last year, and now they're fighting for another playoff spot again this year.
Well, and that's exactly my point, Maddie. This team isn't like, yeah, I mean, this roster's probably going to look different next year. But right now, like, this team is not far off from being a playoff team. Stanley Cup contender is a whole nother conversation. But right now, this is a bubble team. This team right now, will they get there? I mean, they might fall short like they did last year. But right now, they're going to continue to battle for the spot. This is the hottest they've been all season long.
They're right there.
Right. Mm-hmm. They're right in the thick of it.
They're right there. How many points behind are they have? How many points do they have now? 50?
With that win tonight?
Yeah, it's 50 now,
50,
right?
Yeah, 50. Yeah, they came in 48-46 over the Red Wings. So, yeah, 50. And then they were 5 points behind the second wild card?
Yeah. They're now 2 points behind the second wild card.
Right.
And both wild cards are tied. So,
yeah, the Senators have 52 points. The Canadians have 52 points.
Mm-hmm.
And the Blue Jackets have 51. So, and the Rangers and Flyers both have 50. So it's right there for them. And by the way, the Lightning only have 53. So they that's another team that's right that they're right behind. So
they're a bigger surprise in hockey than the Montreal Canadiens.
Right now, no.
Yeah, but that's not going to last.
No. Okay.
I don't know.
There's some pieces.
Pieces are starting to fall into place.
Yeah.
Picking up Lonnie has been way better for that team than I think anybody expected it. He's absolutely, now that he went through his situation. I'm not really going to go into too much detail because I don't know everything that he's been going through, but he's back on his game. And I think this is a great fit for him. And with the season that Cole Caulfield's having, Lade Hudson having a colder trophy season, honestly.
And Cole Caulfield has, 25 goals now?
Something like that.
Yeah.
He's been on fire.
For a little guy like that to have that many goals.
And he was a guy that everybody passed on.
Quick. He's quick.
Flyers passed on him twice.
Because he's small.
Size don't matter anymore in the NHL.
Yeah, look, you don't have to sell me on that.
That's what he
Size
said.
doesn't matter anymore. It's the motion of the ocean, baby. No, I'm just kidding. No.
As long as you can handle that stick, baby.
Listen, size don't matter, and you're going to say that? Okay.
That's enough out of you. That was funny.
Anyway, so besides that, by the way, SJM saying, "What up, hockey fan? Nice win for our Fly Guys tonight. Let's fucking go Birds." As far as the poll, to be honest, I have not a clue. It's part of a reason I tuned in tonight. I'd like to see a move at goalie. So he's on the agreeing side.
Let's go, SMJ. We in the same boat.
But yeah, I mean, the way I'm looking at it right now, I just want them to, if they can get into the playoffs, I'm not even worried about a cup. I just want them to get the experience. I just want them to know what it's like. I want them to taste the big dance. I mean, hell, with nothing to lose and playing with house money, they draw the right opponent. Who knows? Maybe they surprise a team in the first round. And then that's even better. Because then you could get completely demolished in the second round. But look at what you did in the first round. There's something to build off of right there. It's like, see? There's a team that everyone thought was going to do something, and you took them and absolutely made them look like idiots. You embarrassed the shit out of them.
Maddie, what we're seeing is a nice blend of handling business against lower brow teams and stepping up to the occasion against the Stanley Cup champ Florida Panthers, the New Jersey Devils, right? Tonight against a strong club in Detroit. So, you handle your business and you get, a win in overtime with the puck sneaking over the goal line, maybe an own goal by Sider there. But in the end, this team showed that they could play with anyone last year, proved a lot of people wrong, a lot of naysayers wrong, but they collapsed at the end. There's no, let's not sugarcoat it. That's what it was. It was a collapse.
Mm-hmm.
You learn from it. You pick yourself up off the mat. That's what you show your character. It's not getting knocked down. It's how you pick yourself back up. Now, this year, you push tooth and nail and get a playoff spot and get into that first round. Win, lose, or draw. That's just such goodness for the maturation, for the winning culture to get it back in the Philadelphia locker room.
Right. And I'm sorry. I was trying to keep a straight face the whole time, Rob. I couldn't after seeing Benny's comment.
Touché, Benny. Fair enough.
So far, comment of the night.
Yep.
My
bad.
Benny, did I see that Igor tried to kill Kachuk? I don't know. Did he?
Yeah. Well, Kachuk was being his usual asshole self. So.
Well, that's a given.
Yeah, the Rangers and Kachuk are not. They don't like each other.
They're not on speaking terms. I think that's the PC way to do it.
It started a couple of years ago when Kachuk fought Jacob Trouba, and everybody has been going after him because he's just he's a Kachuk, I mean, it's just started with his filthy ass father and his filthy ass brother, and he's just as bad. I think he might be the worst one out of all of them. And the thing with him is he can also really go. So if you want to pick a fight with him, you better be ready. Because
what did Keith Kachuk ever do to you back in the day?
He's an Islander. Isn't that enough?
Damn.
Wait, Keith Kachuk was on the Islanders?
Yes.
I did not realize he was
on the
end
of
Islanders.
His career he was.
Ah, that explains it. See, I remember him as a Coyote.
Yeah, he was traded there.
I remember as a Blue. That's interesting.
I remember him as a Winnipeg Jet.
See, we all have 4 different opinions on this, don't we?
But
I'm sold every one of those cities, though, guaranteed.
I'm also with Rob. I remember him
Yeah.
mainly for his time with St. Louis.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah, well, his father was a punk too. So what do you expect?
Benny's saying he remembered him as a Jet and a Blue.
Well, yeah, Benny and the Jets. Oh God,
Nice.
I'm just loaded with it today, aren't I?
Oh,
Oh,
we need
well,
to do something about
listen,
you.
hey, somebody's got to bust out them dad jokes, man. They are
Yeah, well, yeah.
essential to life.
So he was never an Islander.
I thought he was.
Nope. He played for 4 organizations. He played
Really? I
for
thought he was an Islander.
nope. Winnipeg, Phoenix, which I think Winnipeg moved to Phoenix, or did Winnipeg move
Yeah,
to
the
Colorado?
same
Yeah,
team.
he was
Winnipeg moved
there
to
when the
Phoenix,
move
yeah.
happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he played for Winnipeg/Phoenix, and then he played for St. Louis, and he spent 1 year in Atlanta.
Ah, that's where he finished his career
Oh,
off
sure.
with.
No, he actually finished his career back in St. Louis.
Oh, okay.
Atlanta was just in the middle of the
Was
mayhem.
was that the inaugural season for Atlanta?
2006, 2007, so probably a couple years after.
Oh, okay. So no,
I
it
think they
wasn't
were
the
what,
inaugural
02,
year.
03 was their first year, I believe.
It was. I think they were because I think they were part of that last expansion. That was like 3 or 4 teams because they came in. I think the same time the Predators did.
Yeah,
Okay,
'cause they
well,
split it
let
for
me make this statement. 2,219 penalty minutes. Is that enough for me to be right about one thing?
He's
Yes.
a naughty boy.
Yeah,
You could be right.
He's
he's like he was like Pat Verbeek, the little
Yeah.
ball of hate.
What were we talking about, gentlemen? We got sidetracked there.
I don't know.
Sorry.
Flyers.
Too
Let's
many
get back
dad
on the
jokes.
Flyers.
Sorry, guys.
I'm sorry.
Let me
Flyers.
make one last point from tonight's game, right?
Yeah.
I loved how TK was playing. He was flying tonight. Just missed getting another goal tonight off the crossbar. I didn't like how long he looked up at the heavens for. You got to get your head back in the game, and keep on playing. But TK is playing above a point per game pace. Can we give him enough credit for how he is carrying this team right now?
He's got a shot at 100 points if he keeps it up.
Absolutely.
That would be.
Oh yeah. They say I think with the math, I think he's on pace for 97 points.
Holy shit! We ain't seen numbers like that since.
Claude Giroux.
Yeah, and before him, it would have been Lindros.
Mm-hmm.
So Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah, no, 97. 97 is only 3 from 100, guys.
All right, so Swoopy's comments aren't coming up here, so I don't know why.
So we're sorry
so I'm
about
gonna read-
that, Spoopy.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what's happening with that. It happened last week too, I think, or it was the week before.
Yeah, sorry
just
about
gonna-
that.
No, it's not our fault. Something's glitching with Facebook. So
Still, I want to apologize because we want to read Swoopy's comments. We love seeing him on the show.
yeah, we got you, Swoopy. Don't worry, buddy. Noah Cates is so much fun to watch. He does so many small things that don't go on the stat sheet. This guy is long term. I love watching him. Yeah, I'm with Swoopy on that. Sign him to like a 4-year deal. Give him like 2.5 mil a year. Like I think he's been proven of that. Want to know about the halfway press conference, which I wasn't able to listen to because I was working all day.
Likewise.
Yeah. There's something going on around here, and I don't know what it is. I'm hearing too many sirens.
What'd you do this time?
Nothing yet.
Oh, okay.
Let me address Cates real quick, right? Because I think he's turning himself from rebuilding fill-in player to mainstay right before our eyes. Earlier in this game, I believe it was in the second period, he enlisted the first penalty of the game with a strong corner board work, not only to win a puck battle, like he's just been winning puck battle after puck battle for the past 20 games, but then gets a scoring chance, and then I said, draw that penalty. To me, that was the play of the game. I mean, even though the Flyers don't go on and score in that power play, it really shifted the momentum, and eventually we see Farabee getting that first goal. So, I mean, Cates, honestly, I don't know why people don't give him enough credit, because this was a guy that lit it up on the collegiate scene, and maybe he took a step back in terms of his pro career, but he's taken a huge giant step forward.
Yeah, no, absolutely. What else does he say? He goes on to tell me that's why Cutter won it out. as I said last week, they say one thing about rebuild, then they don't do it. They don't look like they intend to rebuild. You got your guy, Bry. There's something else going on with Cutter. They say it's him wanting to be on the pro roster, but Danny doesn't want him there. There's something going on that he's not telling anybody, and that's fine. Keep it your business, but he just handled things way too poorly. And then, yeah, I'm not really sure.
Bro, I can
Really?
hear those sirens.
Yeah, because
in my
I got
headset.
I have no.
My ride's here, boys.
Yeah, right.
Do you have all those windows shut really tight? Blinds
As
closed?
tight as they can be.
I'm gonna say no.
No, everything is so paper thin here. That's why I can't
It
wait.
definitely is.
That's why I can't wait to get out of this place, man.
So, do you have any loud neighbors?
Yeah, but I'm also kind of loud too, so it's.
Oh, okay. So it's all reciprocal. Okay, got you.
Guys,
Got
you want
you.
it loud. You want to see this place in the summer. Oh, my
Oh
God.
boy.
But yeah, I mean, I'm all for. Listen, Cates has been outstanding this season, and this entire team was off to a slow start. I would love to see Tippett get back to his scoring form to where he can get that 30, 35 goals a game or 30, 35 goals a year to that production that he had last year. And I get it. Off season, brand new contract, making a ton of money. There's a lot of pressure on you now. Just relax and play the game. Everybody's starting to fall into form. It's time to start putting the puck in the net. And like I said with Farabee's been very streaky over the last, I'd say, a couple months. I think now he's starting to find his stride. This is his, third multi-point game in 4 games?
That's good.
Pretty damn good.
He's finding ways to be productive and helping this team finding ways to win. That's important.
Benny's saying, are we somewhat surprised that Danny B was vocal about their issues with how both Bonk and Jet were used on the Canadian World Junior team? I love the fact that he's being vocal about it because to me that shows a sign of, hey, these are our kids and you don't fuck with them. Basically, that's what Danny's doing for me, and I like that. That's what you want to do. You want to make it clear as day. It's like, hey, we want our guys to be shown respect. Standing
And
up.
also,
for
those
them.
guys, you know what? Those guys have to love the fact that their GM is out there supporting them.
Absolutely.
God only knows what happened
Absolutely.
with that Canadian team. They had too much talent to be that bad.
You know what? It happens. Yeah, I mean, think about it. What was it? The Torino Olympics. Team Canada sucked. Team USA was abysmal. I think Sweden won the gold medal that year, and the only reason I remember that is because Forsberg was given a big old spread from the Flyers because he won a gold medal that year. So shows you how long ago
Was
that was.
Lundqvist in goal that year?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
I remember.
That's a big part of it.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah.
So it happens some years. Some years teams just do not have the gelling. It just happens.
GD.
Yeah,
What's going down?
It is
I have
long-
no idea. I'm a little concerned right now.
Do we got like mob hits going on over where you're living? What is going on, brother? Man?
I'm not exactly in the best area. I'm not gonna lie.
If I were you, man, I would just maybe go to a hotel for the night, man. Maybe change your name. Just go assume a new
Homie,
identity.
I got $15 in my name. I can't afford no hotel.
All right, a motel, okay?
I can't even afford a motel.
You could be
I
anonymous.
can barely afford a box on the side of the road.
Well, no one will think to look there, at least.
What's up, Lenny?
Anyway.
Yeah, just keep the lights on and you'll be fine.
I'm not worried about it anyway. There's a firehouse right down on the corner of the street here, so that's probably where it's all coming from.
Yep.
Heather's comment says it all. Damn, Bry.
Won't be the first time I heard damn. Won't be the last time I heard damn.
Probably not. Mike's saying Flyers just put out an article on juniors prospects. Denver Barkey was #1 on this list. That's nice.
That sounds about right.
Let's see here. And Heather also says, could be the sound carrying better in the cold air. Just saying, science and shit.
By the way, I am wearing a Danny B jersey for him sticking up for our prospects. Fuck Team Canada.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
asshole.
There you go.
I'm
I
wearing my
love
Trevor
it.
Zegras jersey because he's returning tonight.
Nice.
Nice.
I'm wearing
Okay.
wearing an old school A2D t-shirt here, NHL
There it
style.
is. You still got that?
Oh hell
That's
yeah.
dope.
I got all the old ones. I still have that long sleeved one that was like only 6 or 7 of them were made.
Dude,
Way back in the day.
I wore those shirts out.
I keep mine in nice condition because I want people to know where I work.
Oh,
So-
geez Louise. That's what Facebook is for, Matt, but you're never on there.
I am. Okay,
Oh,
correction.
I will give you that. You were on way more than you used to be.
Yes,
so I will
and I
give
do.
you that credit.
I'm sharing the shit out of stuff. I don't want to hear nothing about that.
You are doing so much better. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. It's good to know I've got the approval.
Let's
So
go.
let's see. But by the way, Heather, I have to ask: were you a fan of Bill Nye the Science Guy? Just curiosity on that one, because you did end it with science and shit. So I'm curious. But anyway, see, Lenny's saying I was a criminal leaving Barkioff. It was criminal leaving Barkioff Juniors. I agree. Absolutely. Oh yeah, John says a Motel 6, by the way. So
Well, at least to leave the light on.
yeah.
That's
Well
it. You are
done,
done.
Well done.
Brad is just crushing it right now.
The dad jokes are just so bad and so good at the same time.
Oh man.
My daughter says the same thing.
Nice.
I usually just get eye rolls. Never get a good laugh. Just eye rolls.
That's good. That's what you're meant to get.
Yeah, true.
Just keep in mind, I got my cursor over that remove button again, so keep it up.
Here's the trick, though. See, here's the thing, though, and I bet you Brad's done this. He has to wait until his daughter brings her friends over and embarrasses her by saying all the dad jokes he can come up with. I'm sure you've done it.
Well, she's like 35 now, but
Well, okay, back in the day,
yes.
did you use? Okay, all
Oh,
right.
yeah.
Wait, hey. I need to find some new friends.
Oh, come on. We're not that bad most of the time. Yeah.
Oh, I can come up
Hey,
with a
I'm-
nice list
I'm-
over the
I'm
last 10 years.
anciently
I can
old,
tell you that
guys. I
right
can't
now.
I can't.
Oh,
help
come
it.
on. We got into one heated argument. It was over a medal.
You and I have gotten into quite a few.
Okay,
I'm
all
just
right, maybe
saying.
more than
It's
one.
just
All
lately
right.
I've been more with him.
Yeah, it's
But
because
that's
Yeah,
okay.
but it's spirited.
it is.
It's definitely spirited.
If you ever feel like
I'm not going
deciding
to say
to go
I'm
back,
always right because I know I'm not.
yeah.
But
You're
you know,
always- I'm
sometimes
always
I
right.
am.
I'm always right. It's fine. I can admit it.
Let's see
I
here.
did pick Buffalo to beat Baltimore, by the way.
Heather saying yes. Even though I teach math, I love science.
Nerd. Sorry.
That's
I
all
have
right.
a little itch in my throat.
What
I
about
You know what?
apologize.
Professor
You know,
Proton?
Heather, don't listen to this jackass over here. Listen, you do you, and I'm a nerd too. I just a nerd for history, not for math and science. Science is weird. But anyway, so
I know it. I'm surrounded by assholes. I mean, nerds.
oh, let's see. Lenny's saying, I keep hearing that are going for goalie. What are the realistic options? Sorry if I missed. I mean, honestly, the realistic options are if the Flyers do try to go and get a goalie, they're probably going to have to consider the options of, okay, what player do you really want to remove off the roster? But you're also going to have to be realistically understanding that you're going to get a goalie that is hopefully not just a plug and play, maybe a couple years or so, but then you have to run into the issue of, okay, does that clog up the pipeline a little bit? Or
The
does
other-
that help young players learning their craft in the
The other
goal,
problem.
helping them out?
The other problem is you don't want to get a guy that's making too much money either.
Absolutely. And that's a big issue on that one.
Yeah,
Because, you
that's-
know,
Yeah, that I mean, if you're gonna, if that's why what I'm saying is, if you're gonna get a goalie, a good goalie, you're gonna, it's not just gonna cost you prospects and players, but you know, you're using salary cap money. So if you're gonna upgrade that goaltending position, it's got to be, you've got to go from 1 to 10 if you're gonna do that.
yeah.
Because
Yeah.
right now your goalie is playing at a very high level.
Absolutely.
And I know he's been injured a few times, but that, you know what, sometimes that's a blessing in disguise towards the end of the season, because the guy doesn't get overplayed. He's had a lot of time off and he's fresh.
All right. Well,
You know?
we thank everybody for joining us for this edition of Flyers Talk A2D. We thank the fam and everybody, including the math nerds out there. Yes, we do include you too.
And if you follow us on Twitter, Flyers Talk A2D, I put out 2 questions. Can the Flyers extend their point streak? And can they take, 2 points from Detroit tonight? Well, the answer unequivocally was yes to both.
Nice. So with that, we will finish up this fun little rendition of Flyers Talk A2D, or at least something we call Flyers Talk A2D. I think at some point we talked about them, although I could be mistaken. But
We just, as
3 in a
always,
row.
going off track.
just a little bit. Unfortunately, next week we will not have a game to live react to because the Flyers will be playing Monday instead of Tuesday. And guess who they get to play on Monday? None other than those damn Devils. Oh, God. Anyway. I'm sorry. I it just makes me sick seeing them.
It's gonna be
Anyway.
interesting.
Blame me.
It's going to be an interesting show next week.
It will be. So we thank everybody
Especially
for joining
after
us.
Thursday.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a big game, guys.
For you, not for us.
Well, yeah, that could be true, because they're built to make the playoffs. They have no excuse not to. So yeah.
Right. So anyway, so we thank everybody for joining us. We were brought to you by Specialized Physical Therapy. Please give the doc a ring. Go to his website. Let him know you got any aches and pains, so that way he can take care of you and get you squared away. We hope to see you guys next week right here on a2dradio.com. From all of us out there, stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you next week. Peace and love, everyone.
3 in a row. Points in 6 straight. Let's go.